Welcome to my hometown of Superior, Arizona. Welcome to Arizona Barrio Stories Latino USA TV. I'm your hostess, Angie Gomez Byrd. Today we are in my hometown of Superior, Arizona. We're going to begin a docu-series to talk about mining, Chicano history, landmarks, traditions, and more. Please help me welcome my first guest, Frank Rabago. How are you?
Hi, Angie.
Thank you for being a part of this project. So word on the street tells me that you are an expert in the mining field. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, maybe not an expert, but a little bit of background.
Okay, when did you first start in mining?
Well, graduated from Superior High School in 1970, the largest graduating class. We had 130.
Wow.
And so I got my first summer job at Magma Copper.
What year was this?
That would be the summer of 70.
Okay.
The summer of 70. So, of course, started in as a laborer, but went underground quite early through the older shafts over here on this side of the mine. And got my experiences real quick. I went to junior college. Then the following year, got my summer job back at Magma. And it went like that for a while, going to school, Central Arizona and ASU, but then working at the mine and getting more and more experience. In late 76, I ran out of money at ASU, and so I came to work again at the mine, and I stayed working. Stayed working up until August of '82 when the metal market took a dive and the mine here shut down. The first time Magma Copper has ever shut down, as far as I know, the first time they've shut down the mine. And went to get some training, and I wound up working at the General Motors Desert Proving Grounds, the GM test facilities here in the East Mesa, and worked there 18 years.
Wow. Back to the mining, what were some of the working conditions like?
Most of the mine was fairly well ventilated, but there were many, many, many of the areas that were pretty warm, very hot, and most of the time, when we'd get assigned to work with maybe the drift miners, that was the hardest and that was the hottest, working in the drifts. And mostly I was a stope miner. That's where the ore bodies are. And got my experiences there. Had many trainers, men that taught us, that took care of us. It was quite an honor, and I still respect those men who taught us and stay on your toes. My father worked 40 years underground, and I had to step up and show him that I could do what he did. And so it was quite the honor and very gratifying. In those younger times, of course, I was a lot stronger and felt pretty good, and
sure.
And it was a rewarding job, I'll tell you. I don't regret it at all. I don't regret mining.
And some of the precious metals that Superior is known for are?
Well, number one, of course, is the copper. But I'm sure there were other valuable metals, gold, silver, molybdenum, other zinc and whatnot. I'm sure there was areas in the mine that they would actually shut that stope or another part of the mine where there were higher grade of maybe a little bit more silver or gold,
Sure.
but copper was the number one.
Do you think a lot of families came from other towns because of jobs in mining here in Superior?
Yes, there was a lot of men that lived in Mesa that would carpool, and so some of them had their upbringing here in Superior, moved to the Mesa, to that valley area, but then still wanted to work at the mine, and it was a good paying job, very good paying job.
What about safety precautions working in a mine? What were some of those subjects that you had to follow?
Well, mining has changed so much. In the 70s and into the 80s, a lot more regulations came up, federal and state regulations. And we did a lot of training. We were required to have federal MSHA training, and the use of the breathing apparatus in case of fire or smoke.
Sure.
We had to definitely train on that. Definitely train on self-rescuers, they were called. And anytime that let's say there was some type of a mine fire, smoke, there was an emergency smell or stench that was released into the mine through the ventilation, and thus warning the miners, we need to get back to the station to get out of the mine. The stench was a very unique smell of rotten eggs and ammonia and that type of smell.
Sure.
Very distinct, skunk-like smell. So constant training and retraining was beginning. It was the 70s were the beginnings of many new regulations mandatory by the federal government, but also here in the state of Arizona with the Arizona State Mine Inspector's Office, which I worked and retired 20 years. And that was another rewarding job for me.
How many hours a day were you working in the mine back then?
Well, in the past, way before that, miners were allowed to work more than 8 hours, maybe 12. But then regulations limited it to 8-hour shifts. And then later on, regulations changed and it went back to more hours. It all depends on the years that we were working there.
Sure. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for bringing your knowledge here to Arizona Barrio Stories to discuss mining here in Superior, Arizona. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you, Angie.
I'm Angie Gomez Byrd. I want to thank everybody for helping Arizona Barrio Stories Latino USA TV on our very first segment.